¿Cómo está?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good.
How was your weekend?
We slept quite a bit yesterday, and that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah, dude. That's perfect.
But we were cleaning today, so
I was also cleaning today, man. Yeah. Did you get a lot of progress?
we got the whole house vacuumed, and I got Carrie got the whole house vacuumed. I got the laundry room, the kitchen, and the bathroom mopped.
All right.
So
So you're the mopper.
yeah,
Hell yeah,
yeah.
dude. Hell yeah.
I have work experience that.
Yeah, man. So, does your guitar have a name yet?
Nope.
Okay. All right, man. What would you like to start with today?
I've worked. Let's see. I've worked a little on the intro to "Here Comes Your Man,"
Okay.
and a little bit just on my chords.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried "Smoke on the Water," the intro to "Smoke on the Water," a little more. The 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 power chords are still difficult higher up on the neck.
Lower on the neck?
Look, okay, lower.
Yeah, yeah. It's not intuitive, but yeah, this
Where
is
the
lower.
where the frets are further apart.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just like basically when you go up the neck, you go this direction and down.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not intuitive though, because everybody wants to do it the other way. So
Well, and I as the notes go up.
that's it, and you just follow the notes.
Yeah.
But when you're holding it, you're going toward the floor, so you feel like you're going
It's down.
I know, man. It's topsy turvy, man.
Crazy.
Topsy turvy. Yeah. So you're still working on A, D, and E chords, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you having any more luck with the transitions?
D is still the one giving me the issue, and we've talked about that before, but just trying to get a like my hands in the shape that they're
Yeah.
going to be.
It's great.
But then doing that fast, and it has improved. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like a couple of weeks ago, there's no guaranteeing that when I strummed that they would have all rung out.
Right. Right.
So I'm making it more consistently. I'm just not yet making it quickly.
Okay.
And I get that it's yet.
Oh yeah, man. And it's, what do they say? A watched pot never boils, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And are you using those chords in any songs, or are you just kind of practicing them abstractly?
Recently I've just been practicing them abstractly.
Okay.
The app I was using does have you use them in songs. And I don't know, I just haven't been using the app as much.
Yeah. I hear you. If we may, can we go back to the old standard? Let's do Happy Birthday again, because it's so easy to memorize. It's a song. Right?
And it does all three. It uses all three.
Yeah. It's great for your social capital as well, eventually. You're going to bust it out one day, and people are going to be like, holy shit, man, he just sang Happy Birthday to me. So your starting pitch is this E right here. Happy. Ready? Or you don't have to sing if you don't want to, but if you want to.
Happy. Okay.
Ready? Happy. Oh wait, I'll wait till you're ready. Sorry, I said you're ready, and then I didn't even wait. That's on me, man. That's on me.
Gotta figure out where my fingers go. Okay.
Ready? Happy
birthday
Stay on E. Happy
birthday.
Back to A.
To you.
Stay on A. Happy
birthday, dear motherfucker.
Motherfucking titty sucking T-ball bitch. Happy
birthday to
A.
You.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Can we do it one more time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's. All right.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Happy
birthday to you. Wait, stay on E.
Happy
birthday.
Back to A.
To you.
Go to D.
Happy.
Nice. Oops. Dang it.
Birthday.
I told you wrong, man. I'm off today. Happy birthday. Sorry, stay on A, man. I'm having a mood, man. Happy
birthday,
Mr. Yeah.
President.
Back to A.
Happy birthday
to E.
To you.
And then you just take the guitar and you smash it. Oh, man. One of these days.
Oh, I didn't do the. You can't even see my.
See what?
Just can't get the. I was trying to do the windmill, but you can't even see it.
I know. One of these days, Scott, I'm going to buy a really cheap guitar that barely plays. And I'm going to end the show by smashing it.
You have yet to do that?
I have yet to do that. And I think that's after that, I can die peacefully, you know? After that.
It's I mean, are you going to do the full bit and get a cheap amp too?
No, it shouldn't matter with the amp. Because the trick
But
is,
smash it into the amp. You got to like stick the guitar through the amp head and
the thing
like you got to do the full thing.
The thing that I envision, yeah, I guess it would have to be both. The first thing I envision is grabbing it by the neck and smashing it into a million pieces. But then, yeah, if the neck is broken, then you stab it into the amp, right? Yeah. Dude, it's going to happen, man. That's what Kurt Cobain did. He, you know, a lot of those guitars that he broke, he would repair them again and make them barely playable. They were just pawn shop guitars. And he'd do it again, man. He had some ideas.
Is there a Goodwill?
Not here. We're only 10,000 people here, a little village. But I could always go to Crucis, man. You know.
They've got to have one.
Oh yeah, Crucis is getting big, dude.
I have not been down there in more than 10 years. I think the last time I took Carrie down there. A friend of mine was he had just bought a new place, and we went down for his housewarming.
Cool.
And I want to say that was in the early 2000s, like 2 or 3. So I haven't been down there in forever.
Last time I was there was about 4 years ago, and I was hanging out with Cathelia, man. And yeah, I spent the night with her, and came back, and not too long after that, she passed, man. So I'm really happy I got to see her.
Yeah. Yeah.
We drank and smoked and had a good time.
There you go.
Man, so I want to ask you, please feel free to say no. Are you interested in learning another chord?
I think so.
Okay. Because I think, one of the most common chords, aside from the ones you've already learned, are G and C.
Yeah.
And, that's most of the chords for, I think Here Comes Your Man, and also Blister in the Sun, and also that. There's another Violent Femmes, you know that one? Good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay with me just a little longer. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So let's start with G, man. So G, and you're when you play Blister in the Sun, you're set up to do it already. Because I noticed you played it this way, where you had your first finger on the A string, 2nd fret.
Yeah.
In your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, right? So the trick with G is, so you're going to play those two together, and then these strings are open, so you just have to do one more finger, and this one is optional, okay? So you can put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string, and then you're playing it like this. Dude, you just stepped up to the plate and you went.
I'll try it with my pinky finger now.
Yeah, either one. Whichever one you want to do.
Little more comfortable. Well, I guess it depends on how if I've got my hand not resting on the neck.
Yeah.
That 3rd finger is a little easier.
Yeah, it's up to you, man. It's totally optional. Dude, that sounds fantastic.
But using the 3rd finger also makes me want to rest my middle finger on the A string.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little hairy, right? And one thing that I like to mention with your left hand, when you're playing chords, you want your hand to be kind of like a claw, right? Meaning your fingers are curled so that your fingers are not touching neighbors, right? So yeah, because if you let that 2nd finger kind of just touch the A string, it muffles it. And
yeah. Well, and then, like, the more, it seems to me, the more you can, like, have a shape for your hand to be in,
that's it.
The quicker it's going to be to get that.
That's it.
That chord.
Yeah, and there's an intermediate step, as we talked about with the D. You can do the bunny rabbit ears, boop, and then you do the little tail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually you will get to where you're just forming a shape, boom, and you nail it. But it's okay to do that. It's okay to do it in steps, because we don't want you to have to unlearn bad shit, right? So G, man, G is everywhere. G is everywhere.
G, G, G. Okay. G. G.
Do you remember that? You probably don't, but there was a song on Sesame Street that was like, G. Grover, G. George, G. They were doing the letter G. And
I don't remember that one specifically.
God, man, it's one of those little bits of my childhood that sometimes it makes me tear up just because it's just so sweet and it takes me back. Oh God, yeah, I don't know. G. Grover, G. George. Anyway. Jim Henson.
All right.
Okay.
G.
G. Yeah, that's it. So G. So, and a very common chord progression, if you're just, and I don't know if you're, I think maybe we talked about this before, if you're ever interested in just fucking around and making up songs, the really common one, I mean, we kind of do it together, and I think you're game. I'm poking you a little bit. But like G, C, D is very common chord progression. So be like, today I want to go to the store. It's like a million songs with that chord progression, G, C, D. Anyway, so I mean, if I may, I'd like to show you C right now, because I think G was like, you're like, whatever, G's easy, you got it. So C, C does not play the low E string, okay? So it's not part of the recipe. So you're going to take your third finger and put it on the A string 3rd fret. Then your second finger is going to go on the D string 2nd fret. And then the G string is going to be open. First finger on the B string 1st fret, and then open E.
Oh, that's...
How does that feel? Dude, nice job. First time. Holy shit. Nobody ever gets it the first time. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Let's see. Nice, man. Dude. That's fantastic, man.
Wait. Is that right?
That was actually a C major 7, but it's beautiful.
What am I doing? So, 3rd fret, A string, 2nd fret, D string,
open
G, and then 1st fret.
1st fret, and then open E.
And don't play the low E.
That's right. And it's okay. It's okay for now if you have a little bit of neighbor touching right here with that first finger, because the meat of the chord is down here in the bass, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll get it eventually, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But you know, the meat is down here, man. And kind of the pro tip is, so you're thinking, like, maybe you're thinking, perhaps you're thinking, how do I not play that low E string? What do I do? How do I not hit it when I'm strumming it? Because it's not part of the
yeah.
Yeah, I knew it, man. I knew it. So, and you may be ready for this, you may not, but I want to show you the trick that you do is you bring your thumb around like this. And then just the tip of the thumb, the flesh of the thumb, just lightly touches it and muffles it. Yeah, just like that. And then you can strum the shit out of it. Yeah, dude. There's levels, bro. Levels.
And then you don't have to worry about hitting.
Exactly. Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I started playing when I was 14. I didn't learn that shit until I was fucking 28, man. I didn't learn it until I was 28, so I'd been playing for 14 years, dude.
Holy smokes.
I know, yeah, so. And then you can just strum with reckless abandon.
And so I'm going to do my A that way as well.
Yeah, Daddy. Yeah. That's it, man. And you can
Holy cow.
Wow. watch out, man. You can also do your D like that too. Now, the A string is not part of that chord, but it's not as big of a deal if you bump it. You don't want to go. It sounds like dog shit, right? That's the musical term, is dog shit. It sounds like dog shit.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's nice about it too, man, when you have that thumb there, it can be a little bit of an anchor too. So it kind of anchors your hand, so you don't have to go from like outer space to make the shape. You're already anchored at the neck. You're already right there at that second fret with your thumb.
So I then definitely find myself with my palm on the neck.
Yes. For those chords, yes. Right. Great question. Because sometimes you will need to have your thumb back here, as we said before. Like when you're playing individual lines, you want your thumb back there. You know, when you're playing lines instead of chords, like if you're playing, you know, a scale, you're going to have your thumb back there like that. Yeah. But when you're playing chords, you really, I mean, you could, but man, why would you when you can muffle like that, you know? So there's absolutely, that's the preferred way to do it.
So that's, I mean, the way I've been trying to learn my chords is not resting my palm on the bottom of the neck.
Yeah, and maybe the app didn't really tell you that. And maybe...
Well, I thought he was talking about not doing that for some reason, and I don't remember what.
Yeah, and I think
what the reason
I can see some reasons to do that, because, for example, if I don't know if your app is teaching you to pick with your fingers, where you're not strumming.
Not individually yet. I mean, that's a later.
Okay. So, and honestly, and maybe the app, so I studied classical technique when I first started, and this is a classical guitar. Classical frowns on that because they don't really strum like that. It's like all finger picking pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But you have a steel string acoustic guitar, which is really made for strumming. And the neck is narrower on yours, so it's easier to get your thumb around there. You don't have to have massive hands to do it. So I recommend it based on what I've seen, what we're working toward. I recommend using that thumb, because otherwise, if you're picking, you have to be really surgical about how you strum.
Yeah.
And the thing is, man, I remember years ago I jammed with some Rastafarian Jamaican guy, and he blew my mind. He said, you know, your right hand on the guitar is drum, because you're playing the rhythm, you know? And when you see a really great guitar player on an acoustic guitar like that, you can really get some... It's really percussive and it's really powerful, you know, and that muting with the thumb is part of it. So, welcome to the thumb tribe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily use that on my D chord.
Why not?
And reach over and touch both of them?
No, you don't have to. So what I said earlier, it's even though the A is not. It's not the root of the chord, right? So that open D is the root. It sounds fine. So like watch, listen to my D where I just mute the low E, listen. Sounds great. What you don't want is this. That's what sounds bad. Yeah.
With that low E on there.
And another thing, man, I feel like we're really clicking tonight. Another thing is, man, I know you like Pink Floyd, right? So, who doesn't, right? So he does sometimes he'll do what's called an inversion, where he frets that, and it's like this. And actually,
is that with a D?
Yeah, it's with the D, but instead of muffling with the thumb, I'm actually fretting it on the second fret, right? That's the Pink Floyd D right there, man. So So he actually plays that, and I love the way it sounds, man. From a cold steel rail. It's just like...
So usually the root is the lowest note.
Correct. The root is always the lowest note, but there are things called inversions, where the root is inverted with a different tone from the chord that fits in the chord, but it's not in the bass anymore. So, like, for example, D major, the root is that open D string, right? So this note right here that I'm playing with my thumb, that's an F sharp. So this chord would be called D over F sharp. Yeah, and that's an inversion. And inversions are really common. Actually, let me show you what it looks like notated here. We just got the chat window working. I'm really happy. I'm happy with my engineer this week. D over F sharp. That's what it looks like if you see it on a chord chart or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's...
What about when... So I'm playing my D and I've got the E muted, but then I've got the open A string that's also playing?
Uh-huh. Good question, man. So yeah, so in that case, so technically that's a D over A. D over A. Because you've got the A in the bass. Yeah. D over A. Oops. I keep doing question mark. D over A. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Good observation, man.
The D over A is similar enough to just a straight D in our ears.
Yeah. Because, and here's the thing, man, you're asking all the right questions. Because guitar is different than piano, okay? Guitar has a lot of inversions built in. You get a lot of inversions with guitar. Or, you know, and so I think you had some music theory, right? So you know, for example, there's the triad, right? So the major triad. So I'll give you an example. So here's, okay, I'm gonna show you.
You're beyond me now.
I'm gonna show you, okay?
Okay.
So like, let's say we're gonna do a G major scale, and eventually I will teach you these scales because they're great to know, and it's good for your left hand if you want to do it later. So here's G major, and remember, with the major scale, each position of the scale gets a number starting with 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And so we use those numbers for chords, right? So a major triad has 1, 3, and 5. So it's got a 1, 3, 5. So that's a G chord. That's a G triad. And that's when they're in order. So if you play it on the piano, it's going to be 1, 3, 5. It's going to be lined up. But sometimes with the way the guitar is tuned, they're not always in order. Sometimes it's like a 1, 5, 3, just because the tuning is weird. It's still, you know, it's still going to be a major chord, but they're not exactly in the same order. And so that's one way that guitar is kind of special. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But with piano, they're always lined out because, you know, with piano, you can't play the same note in different places.
Right.
Right? And guitar is really special like that. That's one of the reasons why there's so many weird guitar chords, because you can do lots of weird shapes and get amazing sounds. You can mix the order of the chords. Kind of like what we did with that inversion. We just got a regular D, but when we throw that in the bass, it sounds fucking cool, right? And there's lots of times we can do that with guitar, which make it special.
So why is it still a D chord and not some variation of an F sharp chord? Or an A chord.
Great question. Example. Yeah, because it has all of the components of the D. It's got that 1, 3, 5 in there. And man, that's so you're touching on the idea of color harmony versus structure harmony. Okay? So the structure is D. It's 100% D. But we're adding some color to it. So it's still D within context, but we just added that F sharp. And like another way to explain that maybe is, you know, sometimes sometimes there's dissonance in music, right? Like, but if you were to listen to a band where everybody was dissonant, the bass is dissonant, it's out of tune, the guitar's out of tune, the drums are playing at odd time, and the singer's not singing with them, then it's garbage, right? But what our ear likes is if we have a context of consonance, so the drums are in tune, the bass is in tune, the guitar's in tune, maybe the lead guitar player is playing one note that's out of tune. So it's a little bit of dissonance. So you have that structural consonance, and in that situation, a little bit of dissonance gives it flavor, right? Like, you could use the same example with cooking, right? You're making a pizza, but you decide to put sage in the sauce. It's still pizza, but it's pizza with sage. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I love that you're asking all these questions, man. Nobody ever asks these questions. I love talking about it. So everybody's like, yeah. So it's great, man. It's really great. So,
okay.
You know, yeah. So, and eventually, if you want, we can break down those chords that you've learned if you want to, and I can show you the ones that are out of order and the ones that are in order. But all the chords that you've learned have the root and the 3 and the 5. Sometimes it's in order, sometimes it's 1, 5, 3. But and I just want to say one more thing. One thing that's cool about power chords is so if I play a power chord at the 3rd fret, a G5, right? Beautiful. Okay, so if I the root is that G. So if I play the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's where the 5 comes from, right? G5, right?
Okay.
Yeah. What's cool about it is it's not a triad. It doesn't have a
right.
3. And the 3 is what makes it major or minor, okay? So, for example, here's an E chord, major. Here's an E minor, minor, okay? That's a major third, it's a minor third. So you just flat the note a half step, the third to make it a minor. But the power chord doesn't have a third. So the power chord fits everywhere. It fits with major or minor chords. And that's one reason it's everywhere, because it's a shortcut. You can play a Ramones song in a minor key with just power chords and you're still doing the same shapes. And that's what's kick-ass about it, you know? Yeah. Yeah, dude. Theory.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested in that. I don't have a lot of theory or background in any of that stuff, so I feel like it's interesting, but I don't really have a place to put that yet.
Yeah, well, and I know you have some theory because you're asking good questions based on your foundation, which is awesome. And my approach is, you can get way out there with like jazz theory and shit. I don't really go there because it's not going to be necessary for what we're doing, and it's really not necessary for what I'm doing. I don't really play jazz, but I think jazz is cool. I know "Girl from Ipanema," but that's about it, dude, and it kicks my ass every time. But I think a little bit of theory and the questions that you're asking and the direction that we're going are perfect for what we're doing, for playing chords, singing songs and playing chords, and eventually, you know, if you like playing more riffs like Here Comes Your Man, I'd love to teach you scales and teach you how to be a lead guitar player, which is, to me, one of the ultimate pleasures in life is improvisation. Like, if I go to a buddy's house and he's got a guitar and he's jamming and I solo to it, when you learn some basic theory, soloing becomes really easy. You know, you just have templates that you plug into whatever key it is, and it's kick-ass, man. You know?
Cool.
So even if you're not interested, that's cool. But if you are, I'd love to take you down that path. So, or we could just sing songs, or, you know, this is the great thing about in one-on-one lessons is whatever you're feeling, we can branch off from that. You know, we can give you exactly what you're looking for. Yeah.
Well, I mean, every lesson I'm definitely getting new stuff, and I should probably be working on it a little more in between, um, to really get this stuff down and something I can repeat.
Well, that's also kind of my job, is to kind of help you with that, because like I'm not even though I studied classical, I'm not of the classical school where you need to practice 30 minutes every day and it's this, regimented thing, because that's not how I did it. Like, basically, I started doing it, my buddies were doing it, we had fun together, I joined bands, I played gigs, I started making CDs. There was always an incentive outside of it, and I think that's more holistic, and that's kind of what I see for you. And man, one of the things you could probably do, and another great thing about guitar is I bet you at least one of your friends in Albuquerque plays guitar.
I've actually got a friend who picked up the acoustic guitar. Him picking it up inspired me to pick this one up.
Okay.
And so I think he's a little ahead of me. He's been a drummer forever and has a lot of. He's got a lot of theory. But yeah, we're both still beginning guitarists.
Get together and play. That's it. Get together and play.
A little hard right now, but
yeah, I know. Or maybe you could do it over Zoom, something like this. It's harder with this though, because there's a little bit of a time lag where you're maybe not synced up. But yeah, if there's a way, I mean, even if for social distancing, even if you're wearing a mask and they're in the other room and you can see each other and you can hear each other, that if that's safe for you, man, it's so great, because especially if he knows a little bit more than you, because you'll be like, what was that, dude? What did you do?
Yeah.
And show me. And then, because I think a lot of it is that social, and you get that energy from them and you're fired up and you want to play more. And, that was one of the big things for me. And of course, you can get it once a week from me. We can play together, but I would recommend, if you can't, because that's the great thing. Everybody plays guitar and everybody can teach you guitar. That's what I did. If somebody would play something amazing, like, dude, how did you do that? Show me how to do that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you're into it. There's another less savory thing is there's a million YouTube videos of people playing guitar where they teach you the song, and you can play along with them because there's no time lag there, and you can get fired up that way too, So
cool.
In a way, this is the best time for guitar, because I remember when we were teenagers, dude, there was no internet, none of that shit.
Right.
There was the Guitar Player magazine, and you had to get the issue. They didn't have it at our grocery store, so you had to get a subscription. And they would do tablature for some songs, but maybe you don't like those songs, so you have to order back issues. And dude, there's no videos. Like now, dude, you have the whole world. If you want to get on YouTube and learn how to play Senegalese guitar, you could do it. Yeah.
And someone will break it down and like, okay, this and then this.
Yeah.
And,
so it's incredible.
And I definitely have looked at some of that stuff. I still feel very, very much the beginner.
And that's cool. And beginner mind is something that I wish I still had, And I get a taste of it from my students to see what things they struggle with that I didn't or whatever, and I love that. I like sort of absorb it from you. But man, you're at the beginning, which is the best place to be, because you're not jaded. You're not like, fuck, man, I hate playing this chord. You're like, and I'm really envious of where you are, because now you're connecting all these songs that you've heard to what you can do. And when you see a live band, or when you watch a video of a live band playing, you're starting to notice the guitar player more. And that's magic,
definitely.
Dude.
Yeah, definitely.
It's cool. It's really cool. So I have to go. I'm having a pizza party in a few minutes, but so I think I sent you the chords. Blister in the Sun, it's mostly
yes. Yeah, you did.
G to C. And And you know, if you get fuzzy on that, there's a million chord charts you can get on the internet. But when I'm walking, I strut stuff, and I'm so strung out. And that will really, you have to really switch quickly on that one. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
My friend,
all right,
always a pleasure.
Enjoy your pizza party.
Thank you. I wish you were here to have pizza with us.
I would love that.
Someday.
But someday.
All right, brother.
Man, I wish I was still going down there every other month or so.
I remember when you came out here and we had dinner for you, man. That was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Oh, that was awesome.
6 years ago, maybe? When you were the bookmobile man?
At least, I've been at C&M now for 6, so it was at least 6.
2014. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When I had the blue Volvo, man. That was great.
Yes.
Yeah, that was so
fun,
man.
without the seat.
Yeah, dude. I finally sold it, for scrap. But,
Oh, wow.
I got to write a song about it.
Nothing lasts forever.
Sold my Volvo for scrap.
That's a fucking song right there.
All right, my brother. If you have any questions during the week, you feel free to shoot me a text or whatever.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good, man.
Same time next week?
This works for me, yeah.
Let's put it on the calendar, baby.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.